Ah, the 80s, those were the days of Pac-Man, punk rock, video shops, record shops, beloved royalty, strong leaders, arcade games. Shit, we even went outside. And growing up in the 80s was great. Gotta tell you, it was great. The amount of movies and cartoons, as well as video games that were consumed throughout my childhood that would essentially make me the man I am today. Stories of good versus evil, friendship, love, heartbreak. These are the building blocks of my underlying character as well as my love for the media. Then this man, Yoshiki Takiya, would create something in 1985 that would make it into my household in the mid-90s. My dad brought home a VHS tape, I popped it in, and my love for manga was born. Wait, hold on a minute. Are you trying to make a video about something that you grew up loving and you've not even told the audience about the protagonist or the plot or why they should love it? Or matter of fact, why they should even care? Yeah. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, bud, but I think you need to explain. Okay, let's go back. Guyver Bio Boosted Armor is the longest running bloody horror manga and it still holds up today. It's been around since 1985 and follows the story of the 17-year-old second year in school male protagonist Sho Fukumachi, who stumbles across the Guyver unit, thus activating it and becoming Guyver 1. Armed with his new capabilities, Sho will do anything in his power to protect his family and friends, including his best friend Tetsuro as well as his young sweetheart Mizuki, learning to master the powers of the Guyver through every new encounter against the evil corporation known as Kronos. And Kronos will do everything in its power in order to retrieve the Guyver unit back from Sho. No matter the cost, no matter how many resources they have to use, and no matter the casualties they inflict, using their genetically bioengineered creatures known as zoonoids, that they will use in order to take on the powers of the Guyver. Now there are some little deviations here and there within different renditions of the story. The origins usually remain the same to a degree, though the first animated movie, which is about an hour long, of 1986, called Guyver Out of Control, shows Sho with Mizuki instead of Sho with Tetsuro, and she is the one that is in trouble, not him. Not to mention that Sho is in full control of the Guyver at this point at the start. I don't know if the Guyver is actually on autopilot, because it can go on autopilot, but in the rendition I watched, Sho has to learn how to use his suit, whereas in this movie it seems like he knows exactly what to do all the time. He's portrayed as being very confident in the movie compared to the shit scared 17-year-old wondering what the fuck is going on when he activates the Guyver unit. We also see the introduction of a female Guyver, which is Guyver 2, though there were no female Guyvers in the edition I watched, but they are in the later comics. So there you have it, folks. There's your origin story of the Guyver. Hope you enjoyed that info dump as much as I enjoyed editing it for you. Moving on. The Guyver Bio Boosted Armor series was like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was unique, fresh, and very violent, something I wasn't akin to from animations being produced in the West at the time, yet still carrying those same themes and undertones of friendship, love, loss, and heroism. And from the first episode, I was hooked. Those 25-minute episodes flew by in a flash, consuming each episode like a little child addict, patiently waiting for my dad to bring back the next episode so I could get that fix of the next part of the story, the next big fight. Episode after episode, it just kept getting better and better. I just didn't want it to stop. Episode 10, 11, 12, and then without no word or warning, it was gone. I waited and prayed and hoped that there'd be another episode so I could continue the story forward. My dad couldn't find any more, and then we find out in 1992 my beloved Guyver series had been discontinued. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Guyver just lived on. In the spring of 1991, just a year prior to when my show was about to be cancelled, Guyver found new legs. With a $3 million budget and the help from New Line Cinema, American audiences would get a taste of Guyver, and so would I, in live action. Though the reception of the film didn't go down well with, shall we say, the public, I loved it. It was cheesy, it was very Power Rangers, but there was nothing better than seeing something change from animation into a live action scene. And regardless of its mixed reception, Guyver would return in 1994 with Guyver Dark Hero, replacing its original lead Jack Armstrong with David Hayter, and this film would take a more serious and darker tone, much closer to the manga source material, and favoured more from the fans of the Guyver series. And despite the film not receiving a theatrical release, the film actually gained a cult following and was met with more favourable reviews than its predecessor. But it seemed as if the curse of Guyver still existed, as everything would go dark once again. There was no third Guyver movie. There was no recontinuation of my beloved manga series that I fell in love with. But then, in the fall of 2005, Guyver would be rebooted once again with a new animation style, though I kind of prefer the older one, with a full 26 episodes, giving me the opportunity to actually know the rest of the story. And I gotta say, I was impressed. I thought it was getting better after 12 episodes, but it just kept going and going, and it was so good.
Good.
So if you love manga, I highly recommend it. Check them all out. Check them all out. It's a brilliant story. But now we come to the reason I actually created this video in the first place. I found something that I loved, and I was searching for a game. And obviously I'm a gamer, so I was like, is there a Guyver game? And I looked, and there's no Guyver game. Why has a Guyver game never been created? There are plenty of AAA studios out there that could deal with this kind of property, even Japanese studios compared to American ones. But there is one fan out there that has actually created his own game, and this is from G Illusion Studios, and it is being made on Unreal Engine 4. It's super basic, and it states in their description that the purpose of this game development is to satisfy fans, including myself, and to strengthen and promote the reputation of the Guyver, the Bio Boosted Armor, hoping to increase the motivation of Mr. Takiya to continue to serialize the story and meet everyone's expectations for many years. Now, the original creator is about 65 years old now, so he ain't got long left. This is a property that deserves, I'm telling you, deserves to go into the gaming space for all the Guyver fans out there, and I second it and third it. If the very popular Attack on Titan can get into the gaming space, I'm sure Guyver can also get into the gaming space as well, even though Attack on Titan was very basic and followed all the story beats from season 1 into season 2, I believe. I didn't play the second one because I was just like, I was kind of done after grappling around for so many hours. It's fun for a while, and then it kind of loses its way as you're just retreading the same story beats that you're aware of. You know what the story is, you know where it's going. Nothing was dubbed in English, it was all in Japanese. The cinematics were on point, but like I say, it just kind of fell off due to the fact you're just reading all this text as they're speaking in Japanese. It could have done better with a cinematic English version, and this is kind of what I'm proposing for Guyver. It needs to be cinematic, like a movie, third person, action, gore, retreading a lot of those iconic moments in Sho's journey as the Guyver. Progression could just follow exactly like Sho. He's learning his abilities as he's going, though I could see it hard to translate into game form due to the fact that these are kind of arenas that he fights in. He's always fighting one-on-one or multiple sometimes, but I'm sure with the right studio and the direction from the creator, they could make one hell of a title to kind of rejuvenate the brand, because of right now it's been 17 years and we haven't seen anything from the Guyver since. The manga comics are still going, and I know it's going to be hard to adapt. It's going to be hard to get anybody to even notice this. This is the reason I created this video, for my love for it and other people's love for it out there. So I would respectfully love if you could share this around to studios, etc., and try and get more light on Guyver. And let me know if these are the kinds of videos that you do enjoy watching. This is a different type of format than what I usually make. This is more of a kind of passion kind of project. I do have other IPs that I would love to see adapted into game form. So if you want to hear about them, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. So if you did enjoy this little glimpse of Into the Guyver, and it might actually make you go and look at some of the material yourself, that's great. I'd appreciate it if you smash a like on the video. It really helps out the channel as we continue to grow the YouTube, so we can get more eyes on Guyver, and let's see if we can actually successfully light a fire up the creator's arse so we can get a game made, as well as get a passionate studio behind the franchise in order to produce it instead of half-arse it. I want to thank you for your time and audience, and subscribe for more. And as always, have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.